Hello, everybody. Corey here. We're going to go over the daily roundup for the single stock YieldMax. So I can't even talk. The YieldMax single stock ETFs. Just a reminder, we're not a qualified licensed investment or financial advisor. YieldMax ETFs are extremely risky. They are income ETFs and not growth ETFs, and there's a possibility of losing, on your initial investment. Not what we want. Okay, here we go. So I also added the type on the left hand side. I should probably hide it or make it so it's, I don't know, in a different spot. But because, I do say we're only going to cover the single stock, but we actually have all of the YieldMax ETFs on here. There's just not a lot of data to add, for these at the bottom because Ybit has its own video. Ulti has its own video, and then some of this stuff doesn't really, pertain to the rest of this on here. But anyway, so we have all of our single stock longs at the top. Then we have Crash, which is our only single stock short right now, and then we have Ybit, which is the BTC ETPs. I don't know if there's any other ETPs out there, was that exchange traded products out there yet for Bitcoin that have options on them. I'm guessing only Bido does still as of right now, but I personally have not checked. And even if I did check, I mean, it doesn't matter, right? It's whatever YieldMax chooses to invest in. But when these first came out, I know that, or they said that there were no other ones out there that had options on them at the time. And then, of course, we have our YMAG and YMAX at the bottom. We have our fund of funds there. And then, of course, we have our Ultra, which is Ulti. So, but anyway, so we move on. We had lots of trades here. So you can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and hide this for now since it's in our freeze pane thing there. But here's all the trades for the day. I haven't done the trades and holdings yet, so I'm not exactly sure on all these. I know Squee at the bottom will be where they closed out of the synthetic or rolled it to July. I'm not totally sure about the rest of these. I do know I did check, and now, as of today, it shows that the expiration dates for the synthetics are all in July now. So for all the single stock ETFs at the top, they're showing all July dates. I did filter it. So I filtered for synthetics and just looked at all of them. They said it. So hopefully I'm not lying here. I'll double check when I actually do the trades and holdings just to make sure. But I was curious because right tomorrow was the tomorrow was expiration date for all of those. So, but anyway, let's move on. So here on a few screens, I do have the data here, but I'm not going to read through it. If you want to pause the video and look at them, and then, or if you want to do a screenshot, however you want to do that. But we have here the all of the net assets and the outstanding shares for all of these ETFs. And then we'll move on. And then this is the current stock price with the NAV and then the difference, the change, or actually this was just say difference. I don't know why I changed this one to change. I don't know. Maybe I thought I was changing something else. But anyway, and so now we're here to the stock prices. So yesterday's close price, today's close price, and then the difference between those. And then the percentage of the change. So our biggest loser here, it looks like Coney with negative 5%. And then AMZ and Phoebe and PayPay all went down 1%. And then we don't really have any great up ones. Let's see. I can't see the bottom. Nope. It looks like Ulti was down 1% too. As far as up goes, it looks like our biggest up is 1%. And that was AMDY, Apple, Murni, Tesla, and Ybit. Everything else is basically zero, whether it's it's a half a percent or less, or it's less than half a percent. But yeah, Coney there dropped $1.17 Phoebe was down 24 cents. AMZ down 22. Yeah, there's a lot there, but feel free to pause it and really look at all of them if you'd like. And then we'll look at the underlying here. And so here's their IVs and their yesterday's close and today, if you'd like to see those. But I'm going to hide those so we can get a bunch of stuff in the picture here. And so if we look up here, if we look at the underlying themselves, our biggest loser, of course, was Coin by 9%. MicroStrategy was down 4%. And then Meta and ARK were down 2%. As far as up goes, it looks like the biggest one up was Moderna, 3%, and then AMD, 2%. And the rest were 0.1%. Now, if we look at the difference in the change between the underlying and YieldMax, it looks like our biggest winner here is Coney. Coney was, went down 4% less than Coin did. So Coney went down 5%, while Coin only went down 9%. And we also had a MicroStrategy down here. So Misty apparently was positive. It went up 7 cents, while MicroStrategy went down 4%. So that's interesting. So that's our fours, and then we have two. So AIYY and AI, the difference there is 2%. As a reminder, these are rounded numbers here, but AIYY did better. And then we have Moderna doing better by 2% than Murni. And then the rest of these are 0.1%. And then you can look here. We can see that I think it's 14. Yeah, 14 of the YieldMax ETFs did better than the underlying because it was a red day. If we look down here, that's odd that both of those are the exact, okay, they're not, but the rounded, they're the exact same percentage. They were down 0.21% for both of those. So 14 of the YieldMax ETFs did better, and then 5 of the underlyings did better. So if we move on, then we go into like our days of recovery, and we actually had some more recover today. Okay, we had one, and it was Apple, or Apple. On May 3rd, the stock price was $17.34. Then it dropped the next day by the amount of the dividend of 34 cents. And and it's actually come up 38 cents to date. So it's come up the amount of the last dividend and an additional 4 cents, making it up 112% of the last dividend. And it took it 9 days to do so. And then we have a few here that are close. So AIYY is at 90%. At the bottom, though, we have a SQUE at 97%. And then, of course, we have the ones at the very bottom. They were just paid out, so those aren't up too much, but they are at least up some. So that's good there. All right, let's move on. So here we're going to look at some of the strike prices. So these are the max strike price of the shorts. We can see that 5 of these are over their strike prices, which is AIYY, AMDY, Aptly, Misty, and OARC are all over their short call strike prices. And then in column AO, you can see this is, let's sort this. We're just going to sort it by percentage because that's the one that makes the most sense and we can see. So Misty here, its stock price is down 11% because of its short call. So the market value on this is negative $3.47 a share. It is over the strike price by 12%. But it soared yesterday, and today it's gone down some, but not a lot. So we'll see tomorrow what happens there. And then it's interesting. So NVIDIA here, and this goes to what I've said before. This is just a quick look at where we're at, the max. So in this case, it doesn't say it's over that max strike price, but the stock price is being pulled down 3.6% or $1 because of its short calls. So let's just take a look at this because it's rare that we have examples like this. So that's NVIDIA. So NVIDIA here. So you can see it looks like they have their contracts split here. So they have about half of them at the 920 strike price and half of them at the 950, and they're over that 920 by 3% or $23.40. And they're really close to the 950. They're only what, 654 below. So those are bringing the stock price down. I mean, it's not over. What I meant, I guess, to say is it's not over that max strike price there, but it is because of the other one, it's bringing it down significantly. So that's why this one is red on the right, but not necessarily over the highest strike price here. If you want to see, the data more in detail on all their strike prices and everything, that's on the trades and holdings video. This is just to give you a quick look. And then these are the synthetic positions. I guess we can sort this. These are, like I said, the synthetic. So if they're underneath it, that's a bad thing. So we can see here with Coney. Yeah, wow. They just put this one on. So I think it was yesterday they just closed out the 620 strike price. Now we have a 220 strike price. We're already underneath that by $21 because it was up at 219 yesterday, and now it's under 200. So we're 10% below that strike price. And then there's a second one if they had a second one listed here. And then just looking in the right hand column on how that affects that. So we can see Coney here with it being 10% under its strike price or $21, the stock price is being brought down $2 due to this, or 9%, for just the synthetic. I'm just curious. Okay. So short calls are okay on Coney, but that synthetic's bad. All right. And then this is my data check that I had built last week, but I just wanted to point out the data check in column, it's funny, in column BS, those negatives, they're okay, but that just means that they have some, they'll put these on tomorrow, extra contracts that they haven't bought in, like they closed out some but didn't immediately buy in. And they do that sometimes, but they usually use them all on Friday. That way they start out the full week Monday good to go. But that's just the way they've been doing it. They can always change your strategy, and then, I just pay attention to those types of things so I know what's going on. But anyway, that was it. Hopefully y'all were able to get something out of this, and I'll talk to y'all later. I'm going to do the trades and holdings next. Thanks. Bye.